When I transmigrated into the role of the male lead's toxic gold-digging girlfriend, I committed fully to following the script. I spent my days shamelessly exploiting Lucas's wealth and my nights dominating him in bed, eagerly awaiting the moment he'd finally discard me to complete my mission. Yet no matter how outrageously I behaved, Lucas always responded with that infuriatingly tender smile. Indulging my every financial demand and bedroom whim, the system's shrill alarm snapped me from confusion. Wrong target alert. You've been sleeping with the psychopathic villain Ethan this whole time. No wonder he'd been so unflappable. My petty antics were kitten scratches compared to his darkness. I bolted for the door only to crash into Ethan's chest. He tossed me back onto silk sheets, fingers leisurely undoing his collar. You've played your games, little M, his velvet voice purred. Now it's my turn. Don't worry, darling. We'll only need one night. My vision adjusted to the dim hotel suite, landing on the broad-shouldered figure trembling in the armchair. Moonlight caught the sweat-slicked planes of Ethan's exposed chest, his military-style jacket hanging open as choked breaths escaped his crimson-tinged eyes. Hey, are you? The world flipped violently. Suddenly I lay pinned beneath 190 pounds of muscle radiating dangerous heat, cold steel pressed into my ribs as his whisper ghosted over my ear. Who sent you? Here's the truth. I'm Emily, transmigrated into this trashy novel's villainous role. The original plot demanded I bankrupt and sexually humiliate the male lead before abandoning him to the underground black market. His glorious comeback would end with a bullet through my skull. Simple enough, except the gun currently digging into my side didn't exist in the original storyline. Ethan's thumb cocked, the pistols hammered. I suggest, his lethal calm sliced through my panic. You start talking. Who are you? The murderous intent in his voice sent a chill down my spine. Following the novel's plotline, I immediately threw myself at him with dramatic sobs. Who else could I be? I'm your girlfriend. Hubby. His body stiffened. Girlfriend? He repeated hoarsely. I nodded frantically, terrified he might shoot me. Yes, babe. Don't you remember? I'm Em. You called me baby yesterday. How could you be so cold today? I'm literally falling apart here, my voice cracked with convincing tears though really. I was just scared shitless. He chuckled darkly. Suddenly his chiseled features filled my vision, those icy eyes, sharp nose, and lips that could make angels sin. My breath hitched. Only Lucas Mitchell, the male lead, could look this disgustingly perfect. Sweetheart. Lucas purred, his voice turning deceptively gentle as his hot breath grazed my ear. Since you're my girl, you know what to do when I've been drugged, right? Electric shivers raced down my spine. My heartbeat roared. Was this where I was supposed to sleep with him per the original plot? But something felt off. In the novel, Lucas hated Emily's touch, so why was he coming on to me? When I froze, Lucas snorted and started pulling away. Can't even fake it properly. Pathetic. That did it. I yanked his sleeve, grabbed his face, and smashed my lips against his. Screw it with that god-tier physique. I wasn't losing here. Might as well complete the mission. Lucas's eyes widened. His hands twitched to push me away until the drugs surged again. With a ragged groan, he tangled fingers in my hair and kissed back like a man possessed. Hours later, I lay wrecked and teary. Finally understanding the novel's description, the Johnson heiress tormented Lucas Mitchell night after night. I used to hate that villainous. Now, pure respect. Nightly torture? Girl, your stamina was legendary. Sunlight stabbed my eyes as I woke. Every muscle screamed protest. The bedroom screamed wealth, jet black marble floors, chandeliers dripping with crystals. Decor worth more than my life. I was stunned. Looking down, even the bed was a luxurious king-sized mattress, easily 3 times larger than the one I'd slept on in my original world. Tears of joy suddenly spilled over. I knew Emily came from wealth, but I never imagined she lived like this. After struggling financially for so long, it was finally my turn to indulge. Just as I wiped my emotional tears, a bowl of congee appeared in my vision. Lucas's familiar voice sounded beside me. Why the tears? Don't like staying at my place? Me, this is your house? Obviously. Did you think it was yours? I rubbed my eyes, then rubbed them again harder. Internal screams of anguish flooded my mind. Wasn't your family supposed to be bankrupt? How do you still own this mansion? Guess even a fallen giant still towers over the rest. Lucas misinterpreted my silent weeping. His warm thumb brushed my damp eyelashes as he awkwardly comforted, "Stop crying. Last night, I got carried away. Drink the congee. There's painkillers mixed in, it'll help." Memories of our heated entanglement last night made my cheeks burn away any remaining tears. I mumbled thanks and took the bowl. The warm broth did soothe my stomach. He watched me eat before declaring, "About last night, I'll take responsibility. You're staying here from now on." I nearly choked. This wasn't right. According to the original plot, shouldn't I be the one supporting bankrupt Lucas? Since when did our roles reverse? When I stayed silent. He smirked. "Problem, sweetheart? Last night you swore you'd ruin me in bed. Giving up already?" My competitive trash talk from when he teased "can't keep up" came back to haunt me. Though technically part of my mission, could I even survive that level of enthusiasm? I stammered excuses. "I'm particular about beds. This unfamiliar mattress would keep me awake." His smile turned dangerous. "No trouble at all. We'll have last night's bed delivered here. That one's familiar enough. Isn't it?" Since when did the original story's femme fatale get outmaneuvered like this? Who's seducing whom here? Days passed without contact from my glitchy system. Typical, the moment I entered this world, it went offline. Guess I'm completing this transmigration mission solo. There are 3 main missions here: sleep with the male lead, drain his wealth, then die. For some reason, the first task went suspiciously smooth. Instead of reacting with the life or death resistance described in the original novel after being touched, Lucas kept smiling like we were exchanging pleasantries at a garden party. Thinking about it, I cursed under my breath, "This guy's a total freak." After venting, I marched straight to Lucas' office. Time for mission 2, getting the cash. I kicked the door open dramatically. Bank card in hand, "Lucas, I'm broke." My words died as cold sweat drenched my back. The expansive office was packed with stone-faced bodyguards. Dozens of pistols swung toward me the moment I entered. My knees buckled, and I dropped into a defensive crouch without thinking. "Don't shoot. Wrong room. Leaving right now." A soft chuckle cut through the tension. Lucas lounged in his leather chair, cheek propped against his palm. His lips curved lazily. "Don't scare my girl. Come here." What were you saying?" The guns lowered instantly, but my scalp still prickled. How could I possibly continue my demand now? I shuffled over. All my earlier bravado evaporated. "Honey," I pouted, batting my lashes. "My card's maxed out. Could you Venmo me $10,000? Just wanna see what you'd do for me." Lucas examined the platinum card, brow furrowing. My pulse quickened. Finally, the plot deviation was correcting itself. In the original story, after the Mitchell family's bankruptcy, Emily had drained Lucas' last funds, causing his mother to die from untreated illness. That tragedy became his villain origin story, fueling his hatred for gold diggers. I held my breath, thrilled. Was the system finally working? Would he snap and strangle me right here? Instead, Lucas tossed my card aside. My eyes widened as he pulled out a sleek black card from his wallet. "Why use this toy?" He sounded like he was discussing grocery coupons. "The spending limit's pathetic." "Use mine." "Pathetic?" I squeaked. "That's $100,000 limit." If this was his definition of bankruptcy, I might as well be panhandling on Fifth Avenue. Sometimes I have to laugh at how broke I am. Days later, while lounging in a diamond-encrusted jacuzzi, reality punched through my champagne haze. This wasn't right. I couldn't keep falling deeper into this gilded trap. My mission was supposed to follow the original plot. But this storyline has gone completely off the rails. In the original work, after being slept with and financially exploited by Emily once, Lucas already hated her guts. Why is he still acting all sweet when I'm doing this daily? Did my mission difficulty get upgraded? I rage quit, then immediately unquit. This is unbearable. Just then, Lucas' unfairly handsome face suddenly appeared inches from mine. He planted a kiss on my cheek. What's wrong, baby? Who upset you? His breath smelled like expensive mint. Remember that limited edition bag you missed at last auction? I bought the entire collection for you. Wanna go see them? My anger evaporated instantly. Yes. Let's go. Okay, maybe this life isn't so bad after all. Ugh. Late that night, ear-splitting static jolted me awake, rubbing sleep from my eyes. I grumbled. Who's making that racket? It's me. You idiot. Your system. The familiar electronic voice sounded hysterical. Do you have any idea how hard it was to bypass the firewall? This world's security protocols. Finally. I sat bolt upright. Check my mission progress right now. The system went dead silent. After an awkward pause, it squeaked. There's good news and bad news. Good first. I demanded, already grinning. Lucas' affection meter is maxed out. Mission accomplished. Wait, the ice-cold billionaire actually likes me? My grin turned smug. And the bad news? You idiot! The system's scream made my temples throb. Why are you wasting time on him? Your real target is the male lead, Ethan. You haven't even met him. Why are you asking about progress? My brain short-circuited. But isn't Lucas the male lead? Are you deaf? The system sounded ready to cry. Lucas isn't just some side character, he's the deranged psychopath who skins people alive in Chapter 15. The main villain who... Hold on. I massaged my pounding temples. You definitely said the male lead's name was Lucas during the briefing. That was Ethan. Lucas is the homicidal maniac. How did you mix up Ethan and Lucas? They sound identical in Chinese. I whisper-yelled. What now? Run. The system's panic blared through my skull. Real male leads give clean kills. Villains? They'll peel your fingernails off while feeding you champagne. Get out before. Cold air hit my bare feet as I scrambled from bed. My blood turned to ice mid-step. Silhouetted in the doorway, Lucas stood motionless. Moonlight glinted off the hunting knife in his hand. Leaving so soon? Sweetheart? His velvet voice made my knees buckle. After all the progress we've made? Though his face remained expressionless. The shadows clinging to his features made him unnervingly intimidating. Who were you talking to? His voice slithered through the darkness. Where exactly do you think you're escaping to? This felt more terrifying than encountering a ghost at high noon. Cold sweat drenched my back as I struggled to read Lucas' face in the dim light. How much had he overheard? I'd have to gamble on my acting skills now. Summoning the quickest reflexes of my life, I threw myself against him with practiced coquetry. Honey, what brings you here? I was just chatting with Emily about her escape room adventure today. It sounds absolutely thrilling. Can we go together next time? Please? I batted my eyelashes while tugging at his sleeve. The picture of innocent enthusiasm. The corner of Lucas' mouth twitched upward. Is that so? By all means, provided you accept one tiny condition. My heart leapt, the gamble paid off. What condition? I asked breathlessly. His smile turned predatory. Since you're so fascinated with escaping, his fingers traced my collarbone. Let's start with a home version. Half an hour to escape this mansion. Succeed. And you walk free. His obsidian eyes glinted dangerously. Fail. And you'll remain mine, permanently. Before he could reconsider, I locked pinkies with him. Deal. No take-backs. I bolted before the triumphant grin could slip from my face. How hard could this be? Even crawling should get me out of a single mansion in 30 minutes. 30 minutes later. I collapsed before the endless expanse of manicured hellscape, finally understanding why Lucas was the ultimate villain in every sense. The moment I'd stepped past the gilded front doors, freedom seemed within reach until reality hit. I'd traversed Olympic pool-sized fountains, marble plazas larger than city blocks, artificial rivers with actual gondolas, and what appeared to be private zoo enclosures, only to face this botanical nightmare. Mountains beyond fucking mountains. I wheezed at the hedge maze stretching to the horizon, shaking my fist at the moonlit sky. Rich bastard couldn't spare 1 acre? A bone-chilling wind rattled the topiary dragons and weeping willows. Somewhere in the darkness, a peacock shrieked like a banshee. I retracted my fist hastily. The adrenaline crash left me hyper-aware of the crushing isolation. No guards. No staff. Just endless gardens swallowing my whimpers. Backtracking through the labyrinth, I jumped at every rustling leaf. When my shoe caught on ivy, I stumbled forward, straight into a waiting embrace. Careful now, little escape artist. Lucas' breath warmed my ear as his arms locked around me. Time's up. I squeezed my eyes shut, bracing for pain. But suddenly, a force grabbed my collar and yanked, sending me tumbling into someone's arms. The abrupt movement scared me half to death. I thrashed wildly. "Ah! What's happening? Let me go!" A low chuckle vibrated against me. Lucas effortlessly restrained my flailing limbs, draping a warm coat over my shoulders to block the night chill. The familiar scent of cedarwood cologne hit me. I froze. Looking up, I found myself staring into Lucas's amused eyes. "You lost." Strangely, seeing Lucas instantly eased the tension coiled in my chest. Even as my escape plan failed, an inappropriate sense of safety washed over me. I pouted. "Can we pretend this round doesn't count? Your mansion's too huge, it's unfair." His lips curved. "No take-backs. We sealed the deal with a pinky promise. Remember?" Moonlight caressed his unfairly beautiful features, momentarily short-circuiting my brain. I turned away, ears burning. "Well, I forgot." Lucas laughed softly. "Let me refresh your memory then. The penalty for losing," he interlaced our fingers and pressed a solemn kiss to my knuckles, "is staying by my side." The impact of a gorgeous man whispering sweet nothings required 3 rounds of cold water splashes to cool my flaming cheeks. When rationality returned, panic struck. System! If I miss this chance to escape, let's pivot. The system interrupted. Instead of fleeing, make him drive you away. Men detest clingy, controlling women. Ramp up the dramatics, be insufferable enough that he'll kick you out himself. Brilliant! I nodded fervently. The next evening, Lucas arrived home 5 minutes late. He walked in loosening his tie, the faint weariness around him perfect for my scheme. Strike when they're tired, maximum impact. The system cheered. I sprinted over and threw myself at him, bursting into theatrical sobs. Lucas stiffened before gently wiping my tears. "What's wrong, sweetheart? Why you're cheating on me?" I hiccuped, clutching his shirt. "Coming home late, you found someone else." Through my fake tears, I saw Lucas's eyebrow twitch. "Oh, I won't allow it," I wailed, pounding his chest. "You belong to me. From now on, I'm checking your phone hourly. No more business trips, no talking to other women." He captured my flailing wrists, eyes glinting with dangerous amusement. "I asked that so? Why yes, and you'll text me every 15 minutes when we're apart. Install tracking apps, cancel all." My tirade died as Lucas suddenly scooped me up bridal style. "Noted," he purred, carrying me toward the bedroom. "Let's discuss these security measures in depth." "Wait," the system screeched. "This isn't how it's supposed to." The door slammed shut. I squeezed my eyes hard, summoning the saddest memories of my life to force out tears. I was putting on my best heartbroken lovelorn act when something warm brushed against my cheek, turning in confusion. My manufactured tears instantly dried up. Lucas stood holding an exquisitely wrapped pastry box, amusement coloring his voice. "Still denying you're forgetful? Weren't you begging to try this new Bakery's limited edition last week, the memory surfaced that exclusive patisserie rumored to have a world-class chef who only made 5 desserts daily. I'd casually mentioned it without expecting anything, yet here he stood, having actually obtained their impossible-to-get creation. I pressed a hand to my chest, willing my traitorous heartbeat to slow down. No, I couldn't falter at mere male charm. My eyes caught a scarlet smudge on his collar. Victory surged through me as I rose on tiptoes to yank his shirt open. What's this lipstick stain? A blush crept up Lucas's neck as he calmly examined the mark, his long fingers suddenly pressed against my lips. This, his voice dropped to a husky murmur near my ear, is your shade, from this morning's kiss. Couldn't bear to remove it. Heat flooded my face. For all his unhinged villain reputation, Lucas embodied the perfect boyfriend, attentive, devoted, maddeningly flawless. I scrambled to recover. Babe. I need reassurance you'll always be mine. That's why I overreacted. Understood. Metal clicked as Lucas produced silver handcuffs. His gentle smile turned dangerous under the dim lighting. Then let's be bound together forever. Agreed. I stumbled backward. You're joking. Who carries handcuffs? Joking? He advanced with panther-like grace, each word striking my core. When you tease me all night, should I take that as missing me? My protest died as he pinned me against the wall, his kiss igniting like wildfire. Lucas's scent, warmth, overwhelming presence consumed me. Breathless, I barely registered the cold steel snapping around my wrists. Don't worry, he whispered against my lips. We'll never be apart. Fortunately, Lucas, though unhinged, didn't actually handcuff me forever when he heard me sobbing that it was just a joke. As punishment, though, he kept me cuffed all night. By morning, my back ached so badly I could barely move, rubbing my sore muscles. I gloomily analyzed my failed strategy. I thought pretending to be possessive would work. But his obsessive tendencies turned out to be nuclear level. Talk about walking into the lion's den. Clearly, my plan to annoy Lucas into kicking me out wouldn't work. The man's brain operated on different circuitry. My clinging didn't irritate him, it delighted him. Dragging my system into another strategy session, we finally cracked it after hours of deliberation. Host. Hear me out. The system reasoned. Control freaks like Lucas thrive on devotion. Flip the script. Become hostile. Scream insults. Degrade him. Say you hate living with a psycho. Tyrants can't stand defiance. He'll blow up and eject you immediately. The logic sounded solid. But I got stuck on implementation. Bloodshot eyes? How? I strained until my vision blurred. But no crimson effect. Time for Plan B. When Lucas returned that evening, he found me with swollen, tear-ravaged eyes. He rushed over, fingers brushing my puffy lids. What happened? Remembering the system's coaching, I glared with all my might. I hate you. Unfazed, he massaged my strained eye muscles. I know, but I adore you. His velvet tone disarmed my attack. Tell me what's wrong. After an awkward pause, I blurted, You're asking? You're a monster. No one can stand you. My voice cracked pathetically, undercutting the rage. Lucas' throat bobbed. All right, baby, the handcuffs were too much. Next time I'll be gentler. His lips quirked. Or cuff me instead. Your call. Sometimes I wondered if we shared the same reality. As he moved to fetch ice, panic surged. If I lost momentum now, I'd never regroup. Wait, I shoved him hard against the wall. Lucas was completely off guard, collapsing onto the bed as I pushed him. His eyes widened slightly. You, now? The next instant, my stiletto heel pressed against his sculpted abs. The system in my head erupted in celebratory screeches. That's right. Way to go, host. Trample and humiliate him properly. Lucas appeared momentarily stunned. Seizing the opportunity, I dragged my stiletto back and forth over his torso. Honestly, his abs felt surprisingly pleasant under my shoe, firm yet yielding, every muscle ridge perfectly defined. Must have put serious work into that gym routine. What's wrong? I taunted, channeling false bravado. Weren't you the one who said I could take revenge however I wanted? My internal voice wavered as I mentally poked the system. Was that humiliating enough? The system chirped with misplaced confidence. Nailed it. Trust me, after reviewing Lucas traumaphile, grew up getting bullied and abused, absolutely detests being degraded, everyone who ever crossed him mysteriously vanished. My smile froze. Wait, you idiot system, did it occur to you that I might become next week's missing person report? I just want to get disowned, not wind up 6 feet under. Panicking, I tried retracting my foot, only to find it immobilized. My blood turned to ice as I met Lucas' gaze. Smoldering intensity burned behind his eyes, his voice dropping to gravelly depths. If this is your idea of revenge, his hand closed around my ankle, forcing my shoe downward. Why stop at half measures? Though separated by leather and steel, scalding heat radiated through my entire leg. I jerked back instinctively, but found myself flipped onto the mattress in one fluid motion. Lucas loomed above, smirk curling like smoke. Call me the deviant. Yet here you are inventing kinks I've never dreamed of. Feel free to share your other fantasies directly tonight. We'll test them all. After a week of these experiments, my body gave out before Lucas' patience did. Even the system short-circuited. Is this guy love-drunk? We've tried every death wish and he's still purring. I'm the one getting annoyed here. Last resort, the system announced. I barely mustered a courtesy gesture as it proposed. All humans care about money. Bleed him dry. The nuclear option. More impossible than our previous schemes. Lucas' wealth could fuel bonfires for centuries. Still, I grasped at the straw. Maybe if I spend enough to make it hurt. At the A-City auction swarming with elites and underworld figures. Priceless artifacts lined crimson carpets, a realm I'd never dare approach before. How the tables have turned. I swiped my black card all the way through the exhibition hall, buying out nearly every display item while collecting countless astonished gazes. People nearby kept whispering. From their lip movements, they seemed to be guessing how much longer I'd keep spending. Truthfully, I didn't know either. I just knew I had to continue until Lucas couldn't take it anymore. Ring! After what felt like an eternity, my phone finally lit up with Lucas' name flashing across the screen. Could this be? Suppressing my excitement, I answered. Hi, honey. Did you need something? You've been spending nonstop? I hummed in confirmation. Are you worried about the money, sweetheart? To my surprise, Lucas sounded amused, his voice warm with barely contained laughter. What nonsense. I'm worried about your arms. Isn't it tiring carrying all those things? You didn't bring enough bodyguards this morning, so I've sent more. They'll arrive shortly. I blinked. But isn't this too extravagant? People will talk over our time together. I'd noticed Lucas, despite being a powerful figure, preferred subtlety over flashiness. Yet here I was, flamboyantly contradicting his usual style. His calm baritone resonated through the speaker, steady as bedrock. Let them talk. Spend as boldly as you want, I'll cover every cent. The system's final strategy had failed. Strangely, I didn't feel disappointed. My heart raced faster than ever, some unfamiliar emotion simmering beneath my ribs. How peculiar. After the exhibition, I massaged my chest while heading to the ladies' lounge. The bodyguards automatically stopped at the entrance marked Men Forbidden. Inside the privacy stall, I peeled off the ornate gown and changed into casual wear with relief. Luxury clothes were beautiful but exhausting. I nearly collapsed after a day in that finery. My moment of peace shattered when a flock of socialites swarmed in. That flashy woman was actually Lucas' date. A shrill voice pierced the air. My ears perked up. Were they talking about me? Shoo! Lower your voice unless you want the whole building to hear. Did anyone count how much she spent tonight? Like money meant nothing. So wasteful. And she never even appeared in our circles before. This sudden grand entrance feels like a deliberate provocation. Probably dressing like that to make men stare. My husband couldn't take his eyes off her all evening. She must be loving the attention. What a disgrace to the Mitchell family. Leaning against the door, I felt no anger, only dark amusement. These strangers who'd never spoken to me now gossiped like experts. But then again, backhanded whispers had always followed me like shadows. As long as they didn't interfere with me, I wouldn't spare half a glance no matter what those women said. Pushing open the door, I turned to leave when an especially shrill voice pierced through. Am I the only one who thinks Lucas isn't exactly a saint either? Hearing Lucas, my departing footsteps inexplicably halted mid-stride. The woman continued indignantly, that gold digger isn't some heiress. What authority could she possibly have? Let me tell you, whatever she did tonight was definitely ordered by that bastard Lucas. Remember when he canceled our family's construction contract over some stupid village demolition? Illegitimate spawns will always reek of gutter trash. My feet rooted themselves to the floor. Turns out I knew shockingly little about Lucas. None of these stories matched the man I'd come to know these past weeks, the one who bandaged stray cats, humbly received gratitude from orphanage directors, and indulged my every reckless whim. Each memory contradicted both the system's warnings and these vicious rumors. Mocking me? I'd developed thick skin since childhood. But hearing Lucas slandered stirred unfamiliar emotions, confusion, disbelief, and anger I hadn't felt in years. The crowd outside gasped in horror, scrambling to silence her. Have you lost your mind? Do you want Lucas people hearing this? The red-lipped woman scoffed. Relax. It's not like he's got spies in the ladies' lounge. Hi there. My hand landed on her sequined shoulder before she finished. Her mascara-heavy eyes widened, foundation paling beneath heavy contour as she turned, smiling sweetly. I purred, mind filling me in. Ladies? Their earlier bravado evaporated instantly. Emily. Darling. We were just discussing your lovely self. Fake laughter erupted as jeweled hands seized my arms. You should have announced your presence. I let them fuss, maintaining my saccharine tone. Oh. I've been resting here 10 minutes. Shopping does tire one out. The color drained from their Botox-smoothed faces. Must have been the champagne talking. So lovely seeing you. Stilettos clattered wildly across marble as the pack scattered like startled deer, probably hoping to never cross paths with me again. My smile dropped the moment they vanished, knocking twice on my temple. I addressed the void. System? You mentioned investigating Lucas' background before. Care to share details? Of course. But the mechanical voice hesitated. What sparked this sudden interest? I wasn't sure myself. When first transmigrated, I'd treated this world like a checklist, complete missions. Ignore context. That's how I'd mistaken the protagonist for the villain initially. Yet now I desperately needed to understand Lucas. I wanted to understand his joys and sorrows, to know about his past, to discover what kind of person he truly was. I wanted to see the hidden facets of him that I'd never witnessed. Lucas' father was the patriarch of the wealthy Carter family, a notorious womanizer. He'd forced Lucas' mother into submission while drunk, then coldly abandoned her the next morning. Though devastated, the mother proved resilient. She soon pulled herself together, raising Lucas by running a small street stand. During quiet moments, she'd cradle her child whispering, "Your name is Lucas Mitchell. Mitchell means peaceful protector. We'll leave the past behind, just promise me you'll grow up safe and content." She kept her word. Through all their hardships as a single-parent household, she never once sought help from Lucas' father. Lucas grew up enveloped in this fierce love until age 12, when cruelty shattered it. His father arrived with armed men, violently snatching the boy away. "This is my Carter heir." The man sneered at the mother, crumpled on the floor. "You think I'll let my blood carry some outsider's surname? Delusional." The truth emerged: the Carter matriarch was infertile, prompting Lucas' father to finally acknowledge his illegitimate son. The entire family celebrated this miracle adoption off the mistress child as the lawful heir. Only the mother's life was destroyed twice over. She wept endlessly, stormed Carter Manor countless times, only to be dragged away by security. She never saw Lucas again. Meanwhile, Lucas became Dan overnight. He endured his biological father's contempt and the Carter family's brutal grooming rituals, biding his time to escape back to his mother. At 14, he meticulously planned his first breakout, only to get lost in the estate's labyrinthine corridors. Guards easily retrieved him. The Carters erupted in fury. The matriarch declared Dan needed bloodletting to purge the bastard's filth, initiating years of systematic abuse. Yet Dan kept escaping, each failed attempt bringing harsher punishments. Until one rainy night, 17-year-old Dan finally outran his pursuers. Limping and bleeding, he arrived at his childhood home only to find dust-covered ruins. A neighbor clucked pityingly, "Poor woman wasted away before 30, died years ago." That night, Dan Carter died too. What remained became something darker. The system paused its narration when I gestured weakly, closing my eyes. I struggled against the acidic grief clawing my chest, and suddenly remembered that evening when Dan took me to the escape room. After 30 minutes fleeing through mock mansion corridors, I'd collapsed exhausted against a wall. I never imagined Dan had once been that desperate child. Wounded and small, endlessly retracing those same panicked footsteps through a real prison of marble and gold. But here's the difference: when I couldn't escape, someone came back with a warm coat to shelter me. Dan's childhood corridors only ever echoed with silence. At 12 years old, Lucas couldn't escape. All that remained was icy abuse, furious curses, and the cyclical despair that followed. The rest unfolded predictably. After learning of his mother's death, Lucas transformed with startling speed. His ruthless tactics and decisive actions swiftly secured his position within the Carter family empire. On his father's birthday, Lucas walked into the Carter mansion's master bedroom clutching a pistol. The patriarch and his wife collapsed in terror, scrambling to pound on locked doors. Lucas advanced calmly, his smile genteel. "Weren't you both experts at tormenting my mother? Why tremble now when tables turn?" That night, the Carter dynasty fell, reborn as the Mitchell legacy. We sat in heavy silence after the story. Eventually, the system murmured, "I'd skimmed these events before, seeing them properly. The antagonist's path is darker than I realized, coming from the jaded AI." This held weight. My confusion deepened. Why label Lucas the villain? A tragic hero avenging his mother fits classic protagonist material. Later events perhaps, the system pondered. He built power in a city's lawless quarter. While posing as ambitious, he actually protected vulnerable residents. To deter troublemakers, he cultivated fearsome rumors about himself. The monitoring devices tagged him antagonist based on reputation alone. So Lucas became villain through performance art. The man suffered injustice both within narratives and beyond, yet instinctively, I sensed he dismissed such mislabeling. Protecting what mattered outweighed others' perceptions, his strength forged through relentless resolve. The familiar voice spun me around. Lucas stood beneath streetlights, his trench coat draping like frost-laden pine boughs. When our eyes met, winter melted into spring through his tender smile. My pulse raced as I feigned calm. "What are you doing here? I thought you'd send security." He closed the distance, effortlessly taking my bag. "Can I handle it myself?" His eyebrow arched. "Let's go." Settling into the passenger seat, I seized his wrist before ignition. "What's wrong?" Concern laced his voice. "Nothing," I lied. "Something's in my eye. Could you check?" Leaning close, his moonlit gaze shimmered liquid silver hypnotic pools inviting surrender. "It's red," he murmured. "Hold still." I disobeyed. As he bent nearer, I tilted up to meet his lips. Lucas froze when I unexpectedly stole a quick kiss. I couldn't help laughing. "How are you so easy to trick? I just wanted to kiss you." The next instant, Lucas retaliated by capturing my lips fiercely until our mingled breaths became the only reality. This kiss felt different from our usual passionate exchanges, slow, deliberate, and almost reverent. The profound tenderness made me think even death at this moment would be blissful. Between lingering touches of our lips, Lucas murmured, "I lied too. Carrying groceries was just an excuse. I missed you. I never understood love. At 7, my mother said she loved me before abandoning me. At 8, my father repeated those words, then started a new family. 14 brought a blushing classmate's confession that turned to tearful accusations of me being an unfeeling monster when rejected. Through the years, I mastered social graces. Everyone praised my cheerful demeanor while my inner void remained. The system chose me precisely for this emotional detachment. Perfect for mission execution. Yet Lucas changed everything. Despite enduring greater childhood hardships, he retained his mother's capacity for love. Countless people passed through my life, but only his actions proved love's existence unreasonable and eternal. Later at home, while Lucas showered, I finally tapped the system interface. I need to discuss something. What's wrong? I want to abandon the original mission. My resolve solidified as I stared at the holographic display. Lucas gives genuine affection while I approached him under false pretenses. This feels unjust. Host. Are you serious? The system stuttered. You'll forfeit 100 million credit rewards. Do I look broke? I deadpanned. Jokes aside, it grumbled. You know the consequence: permanent entrapment here. Homeworld held no attachments, no family, friends, or unfinished business. My lips curved slightly. But here, I have my beloved. The real reward already walks beside me. Mid-sentence, a damp arm circled my waist. Lucas' familiar cedar scent enveloped me as he nuzzled my neck. Talking to your imaginary friend again? A man's slightly hoarse voice came from behind, pressing close against me. Thank you, M. My fingers instantly clenched. My mind went blank with tension. You knew all along. Lucas buried his face in the crook of my neck, murmuring, I've known since the beginning, from the day I overheard that damn system urging you to run away. So early, my breath caught. All those panicked lies about escape room games I'd concocted, thinking I'd fooled him. He'd known the truth yet chose to play along. Turning to meet his gaze, I whispered, why never confront me? Why would I? Lucas countered, tracing my jawline. You were enjoying the game. I was enjoying watching you play. Where's the harm in mutual pleasure? My throat tightened with guilt. But I kept deceiving you. That's cruel. Warm fingertips suddenly pressed against my lips, silencing me. You're the least cruel person I've ever met, he breathed. Even after gaining wealth here, you've never harmed anyone, stayed willingly with a monster like me. His thumb brushed my lower lip before capturing my mouth in a tender kiss illuminated by amber lamplight. Your goodness incarnate. My eternal beloved. My heart hammered wildly as I clumsily returned the kiss, arms looping around his neck. Still. I've bullied you so many times, I mumbled against his lips. How to make amends? In one fluid motion, Lucas lifted me onto the edge of the nearby desk, his breathing roughening as our foreheads touched. Let me claim recompense tonight then. Don't fear, M. Just this once. Winter arrived swiftly. On Lucas's birthday, I led him through snow-dusted streets with repeated warnings. Keep your eyes closed. The surprise gets ruined otherwise. His chuckle warmed the frosty air. 10th reminder, darling. Still obedient. The feared corporate titan now followed my guidance like a devoted acolyte. Dark lashes lowered trustingly. My chest constricted with affection. So compliant. I teased. Aren't you afraid I'll sell you off? Would you really? His mock pout dissolved into a smile that crinkled the scar near his eyebrow. Perhaps I should beg instead. Suddenly serious. He brushed snowflakes from my hair. I plead with you, M. Never leave. However much gold they offer. Crossing my heart. I vowed. Not for all the world's treasures. Open your eyes. The color drained from Lucas's face as he took in the cozy brownstone. Sunlight streamed through lace curtains his mother had sewn decades prior, illuminating the chipped blue doorframe where childhood height markings still lingered. His throat worked soundlessly, fingers trembling against mine as ghosts of lemon polish and fresh-baked bread enveloped us, the lost sanctuary of his youth. Perfectly recreated. On his 12th birthday, this place had undergone earth-shattering changes. When he returned years later, it had become a dilapidated shell of its former self. The news of his mother's death arrived simultaneously. From then on, this became the nightmare Lucas refused to revisit. Yet now, he found himself transported back to childhood days. The menacing shadows of fear gradually dissolved in warm golden light. I stood nearby, watching Lucas remain motionless for so long that anxiety began curling in my chest. This birthday surprise had been months in planning. The house contained Lucas's happiest childhood memories. Letting it rot away felt criminal. I'd asked the system for original blueprints. Spent weeks clearing cobwebs myself. Hired craftsmen to restore antique furniture. We'd preserved what time hadn't ravaged. Blending modern touches where exact replication proved impossible. The final result balanced vintage charm with contemporary vitality. Though proud of the restoration, Doubt gnawed at me. Do you like it? Do you think your mother would? Lucas turned abruptly. His answer a crushing embrace that stole my breath. I patted his shoulder through the linen shirt. You haven't actually answered me yet. He loosened his hold slightly. Sunlight transformed his usually intense eyes into liquid amber. I love it. His gaze remained fixed on me rather than our surroundings. Then his lips brushed mine with unbearable tenderness. A single tear traced my collarbone. Thank you. Years ago, his mother had stood in this foyer smiling, welcome home. Lucas. Now the words came from someone else from me, grinning through nervous hope as I repeated, Lucas. Welcome home. For the first time in decades, home stopped being a haunted memory.